Let's go through the timeline, all right? March 2002, parents became aware of the abuse. March 2003, a year later.
She's 14, they find out about it. 15, a year later. They've done nothing the whole time.
Done nothing, swept it under the rug, ignored it, who knows. March 2003, Josh is sent to a Christian treatment program for 4 months. And I say treatment very loosely because this counselor was not a certified counselor. It was a family friend. July 2003, parents tell a state trooper about the abuse. This state trooper also happens to be a family friend. July 2003, that same time, the trooper gives Josh a very stern talk, does not make a report, and then we find out, oh, the trooper is now serving 56 years for child porn offenses. Yeah.
I mean, this is reprehensible, right? On all fronts. We've got a trooper that didn't do his job. He was a consumer of child pornography. We have a parent that is in massive denial. We have a kid that's perpetrating. And years go by, who knows what's happened to the victims or how many more victims there have been. And then he goes to some sort of cockamamie treatment program. Judy, I mean, it's bizarre. So he's now 27, 14 years later. The guy still has not had an assessment.
That's right. Not even a formal assessment about what the issues were.
What is this?
Led him to do this.
Is this is he a pedophile, or is that his sexual orientation? Not treatable, perpetrated on many? Was he sexually abused as a child and acting out strangely because of that? What the hell?
That's right, and we can't trust this family to really tell the truth, right? How many more secrets are there if they've been able to keep this under tabs for over a decade? And here's my concern, Dr. Drew, just as you said, if this is a child molester and that's the profile, we know that these people are not really rehabilitable because it's more like a sexual preference, and it's then more about designing behavioral controls so they don't hurt other people, but they won't change their minds, Dr. Drew.
Josh on Facebook said, quote, this is how he understands what he did. Quote, 12 years ago, as a young teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I'm extremely sorry and deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and my close friends. Okay, that's it. All done. Everything's good now. Everybody, Mike, it's all done. Let's get on with our lives.
Well, another thing that I think is it's so disturbing to me, and I think is overlooked, is this kind of undertone of this antiquated chauvinism where the female children are kind of looked at as substandard to Josh, this man. He was this 14-year-old boy of the house.
There's bizarre overtones in.
Oh,
yeah. Did you get that? You see that?
It pisses me off. The hypocrisy is so real with this family. How dare they shame the LGBT community? How dare they condemn them for their immoral lifestyle when the Duggars are the immoral ones? I say screw you, Jim Bob and Michelle, screw you.
Do you think the show should be canceled?
Yes, I think that the show should be canceled.
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. I mean, it's easy to go there. I know the people that run TLC, I've known them over the years. They're very thoughtful people. I'm sure they're taking this into careful consideration. But how about if we actually get him an assessment and we document what that is and we really learn more about what this is, why it happens? To me, I could see something like that.
Their hate speech alone is enough. Their hate speech is alone to cancel.
But I also think that is for not only TLC to decide. That's for mental health professionals to kind of come in and step in. There's other things at stake here larger than TV ratings or what's important from an entertainment standpoint.
Agreed. You know? In the audience, I've got Lisa Bloom. Speaking of more important issues, I've got a trial lawyer at the Bloom firm and legal analyst for Avo. Lisa, my question is, could the parents be liable in some way for not having, certainly ethically there's a problem here, but legally is there an issue for them not having reported anything?
Well, I've read the entire police report, and I represent victims, especially cases where the statute of limitations is a problem. And it might be a problem here, because in Arkansas, where this happened, it's a 3-year statute of limitations, and a victim has until age 21, right? So depending on who these victims are...
Wait. The victim has until 21?
Until 21. In other words, 3 years from age 18. 3 years from the age of 18.
And that's it. Then it's 21. Over.
Well, or 3 years from the date of discovery. But that really applies to repressed memory cases, which I don't think is the case here.
And discovery was in 2005, legitimately.
But how old are these victims? Are these his sisters, for example, which, reading the police report, it sure seems like that's who we're talking about, but we don't know for sure. Some of them are still under the age of 21. But do they even want to bring a claim? Do they want to bring a claim against their own parents, against their brother, against any kind of facility that knew about it, encouraged it? How about against the police who didn't do a report?
What about that? That to me is bizarre.
It's outrageous. It's corruption. If you're covering up for somebody who is an admitted child molester because this is your buddy's kid, that's the very definition of police corruption.
But it's corruption, but it's sort of I mean, I guess the guy himself was consuming child pornography.
Yeah,
And why is a guy like that on the police force to begin with?
What was that stern talk they had, and like what was the topic?
This is the part that kills me in this whole thing. Is both the parents and this trooper. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to teach him what's right and wrong, and give him a stern talking to. And this kid's going to straighten up and fly right. Are you kidding me? That has nothing to do with how you treat people like this.
And so
That's
manual
insane.
labor is not a cure for sexual predators. Okay, we don't live in the 19th century.
No, it's not, nor is
And
it's
what
not
about the victims? There is no concern for the victims at all.
And
Did they get treatment? Did they get therapy?
Right.
Did they get anyone
identify
talking to
them, find them, and refer them for treatment? And who knows the extent of what he's done here? Who knows what he's done? We don't know anything yet because the whole thing has been swept under the rug.
Oh, I'm sure they just prayed it away, Dr. Drew. They just prayed it away.
They prayed it away. They parented it away, and they reasoned it away.
Listen to me.
We taught him what's right and what's wrong. That has nothing to. These people know they're doing something wrong when they do this stuff.
We should have known from the beginning that anybody who is in the family tree of a guy named Jim Bob is automatically guilty of everything bad.